So welcome to the second 8-week online ServSafe class. So I wanted to do a quick video just to give you guys some insight onto what this class is, because it's structured different than a lot of classes, so I want you to kind of know what to expect and where to find most of the course material. So right now I'm on the home page, so hopefully you've already seen this for our Canvas page for this course. And I've got a couple of things I want to show you here. So just quick on this page, we do have some PowerPoints, and I will be uploading some weekly things that you can look at as well, lectures if that's helpful. They won't be every week, but I'll add in kind of me going over some of that material if that's helpful. I also do have a review lecture, which is good to watch. It's about maybe 30 to 45 minutes, and it's me kind of going over some of the key highlights that you really need to know well for this exam. So let's look at the syllabus really quickly, and hopefully everything pulls up well for me. So the syllabus is where you're going to find all sorts of information about the course. So for every course you should always read over the syllabus. So look at this. A couple things I want to point out. You've got my contact info here. Please feel free to email me if you have any questions. Stop by my office. I'm also happy to make other arrangements. We can even meet virtually through Zoom if you're not on campus much but want to have more of a conversation with me than just email. So let me know. This class is all online, but you are required to come to campus on either December 5th at 6 p.m. or December 7th at 10 a.m. to take the exam. There may be one or two other options that week if you really are in a bind, and neither of those work, but you need to let me know ASAP. So please make plans to come to either of those exams, and then a week or two before the exams, I will put a call out to just ask everyone to let me know when they plan on coming. But again, if you know that neither one of those will work for you, let me know ASAP, because this is something we need to have scheduled. A couple of things about the textbooks. So if you bought it at the bookstore, you're good to go. You should have all three things that you need. And so you need the text to read, and then an electronic voucher, which is a voucher to allow you to take the ServSafe exam. So we do take the ServSafe exam online, and we need an electronic voucher to use for that. So you can see that would already come with it if you bought the bookstore. And then also My Lab access, so we do use My ServSafe Lab for this course as well. So all three of those things are necessary for this class. Now there are a couple of things that you can look at. So if you purchase it just from, I know sometimes it's cheaper and easier to get your books online, and I'm all for that normally, but with this one you would just need to make sure that it may not come with a voucher, it may not come with My Lab access, so it may not end up being cheaper for you. So just think about that. I do have a link that I can send you. I believe I put it up in an announcement. If not, reach out to me if you need it. And that link, the price changes slightly, but it's about $60, and that comes with the online access code and voucher only. But with that online My Lab access code, it also has an ebook version. So if you are okay with just reading the text electronically and have the My Lab and want that code, let me know. But you would want to make sure you have used the voucher. So we need both of those for that. So all that's important to have. So the rest of it you can look over. This is basic stuff. Please go over this with any class you have, just to make sure you know what's expected of you. The grading, My Lab, quizzes, and so they're really chapter tests, so don't get those wording confused. Sorry, it says quizzes, tests, really we're the same for that. And then assignments, which are our learning modules. Those are worth 40% of your grade, and then the ServSafe exam itself is worth 60% of your grade. And you actually do have to pass the ServSafe exam in order to pass this course. So if you do not pass the ServSafe exam, you will not be able to pass this course, and you would need to retake it. Now, we do allow you to 2 attempts during this course, so if you were to happen to not pass the first time, you could during finals week retake it. But you do have to have a passing grade on that in order to pass this class. And lastly, this is a tentative class schedule. Now, in most of my classes, we stick to this more, but for you, this is kind of self-paced, so it's up to you how fast you go through this. But I recommend, this is a schedule I recommend sticking to. So it's 8 weeks, it goes by fast. You don't want to get to 2 weeks before the ServSafe exam and realize you haven't studied any of the material, because it is a difficult exam, and you really need to make sure you put the time into the exam for studying and really understand the material kind of backwards and forwards, because if you ask anyone, it can be a tricky exam. So you really want to make sure you really know your stuff and are studying. So this is what I recommend, working on a couple of chapters a week. There's also a practice exam that will open up later that you can do that. But all the assignments are technically not due till 12/4, so it is kind of self-paced in that. So you have time, but you can also go back and work on things. So let's say you go through some, chapter 1 and chapter 2 tests now, and then move forward. But then you're like, oh wait, what if I want to go back through it? You can go back through it. And so you can go back through and look at the learning modules, look at the chapter test multiple times. And I will actually give you your highest score on the chapter test. So just something to think about if you take them a couple of times. So sorry, don't confuse quiz and test. It's the same thing for these purposes. So those are some things you need to know, but all of these are due 12/4. I will ask that you do chapter 1 test at least by 10/21. That way I know you're logged in, participating in this class, you know how it works. So that's the only one I will ask that you really have done by next Sunday. So, or 10/21 on that. So that's the syllabus. To go back and look at this. The other thing I want you to look at, and hopefully it'll work well for me to jump through here, is to get to MyLab. This is kind of new that it's being incorporated into Canvas, so if it doesn't work quite right, let me know. But you should be able to get into MyLab through this MyLab and Mastering tab on Canvas in the course. So you can open that. And then it's going to have you register and look at this. So if you don't have a Pearson account, you can create one. If you've never used Pearson, you probably don't. So you can create an account. It'll ask you all of these things. It will walk you through some of the different items. It will put you to a screen where you can, and it has me as an instructor, so I can't sign in to show you. But the next screen, it will give you an option how to get into the course. So do you have that access code, like we talked about, so the MyLab access code? So that's really the way I would recommend. So if you have the book from the bookstore, great. If you want to buy that link that I sent you, please let me know. That link with the MyLab access code and the voucher, they do mail it to you physically. I don't know why it's all codes, but they will actually mail it to you. So it'll take a little while to get to you, but that's okay, because I expect everyone to go ahead and get started on Pearson, because they will give you a 2-week free trial. So when you after you create this account, when you get to that page that asks you for the access code, if you don't have your access code yet and you're waiting on getting it, at the bottom there's a place that says I believe it's 2 weeks free trial, and it will let you in without that access code to start. Now don't wait too long, make sure you have a plan for getting your access code, but you can get in there. Now one thing I will advise against is it will give you the option just to pay $89 to get MyLab access instantaneously. Now, I mean, you can do that if you want. I will just tell you that's more expensive than the other option I told you, which was about $60, and that $89 one does not include a voucher, so it's even more expensive then. So I don't recommend that option. I always have some people who still, I think, just aren't paying too much attention to what they're doing and do that one, but I recommend against that. So once you are, and yours is going to look a little bit different, because this is my instructor home. You can see what the student home looks like. So yours should look a little bit more like this. And it's going to give you some things to work on, and it's going to show you all the assignments. So here you have the learning modules and a test for each chapter, and those are the things that you're going to be working on. The learning module, I just want to let everyone know, sometimes it asks questions during it, and it'll give you kind of a funky grade at the end where it's like, wait, I got those right, but don't worry about your grade on the learning module. I can see if you completed it or not, and that's all that matters for the learning modules. For the chapter tests, I will take your grades, but you can see you can do it infinity times. So you can kind of keep practicing those until you get them right. So those are the main things that you're going to be doing on MyLab. You also can look at the ebook within here. There's some other learning tools, so please take advantage of all of those. So hopefully this helps, gives you a little bit of insight into what to expect. Again, you can get through to MyLab through here. I do have review, lecture, and test, and all of these PowerPoints, which these are great to look at if you're more of, you like to read through things and you want to study in a little bit different way than the learning modules. I've got all this up for you. So my best advice for a ServSafe exam is just not to put it off, and do your best to study, and please let me know early if you have questions. I do everything I can to help you, but if you come to me the week before, there's less I can do. So please let me know how I can help. Thanks, guys.